Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dialar's Twi'lek Tactics. In this video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into Helentis. It feels kind of weird because it was a couple weeks ago now that we already discussed her kit, but today is the day when the vast majority of players that have consistently been playing Hell Arena are going to actually unlock her, and as such, I felt it prudent that I had to make a video diving into her, explaining her kit, giving you gear recommendations, and you know the drill. You know what I do. So, I don't have her unlocked on this account. This is my streaming account, and I can't play this one every day, so we're going to see this cinematic again in her deep dive. My initial impressions is that she... Let me just wait for this to stop yelling at me. My initial impressions are that I think this is their first go, or their first try at a game mode specific character. It's kind of unfortunate that it is assassins, given that the SP is an assassin, or the first SP is an assassin. I would have preferred a different class. I'd say for the majority of players, probably assassins are one of the least developed. I could be wrong there, but one of the least developed teams. That's just my thoughts and impressions, probably because that is my least developed team. But they're going to learn a lot from this. Guaranteed we're going to get more Hell Arena specific characters. So I would recommend getting a copy of her. But day one testing kind of indicates that she's only really going to shine in Hell Arena. The fact that she is a ranged assassin already disqualifies her for a lot of the assassin-focused content in this game. Anything where you have to get into a circle and stay in the circle to do damage, she's going to perform poorly in, because she's constantly teleporting to the back row out of the circle. So that pretty much sums it up. She is not great. She's definitely not great. She is okay. She's going to suck in PVE. That's hands down. She's going to suck in PVE. She's going to excel in Hell Arena PvP. And she's going to do okay in PvP outside of Hell Arena. But just okay. She's marginally better than Bailey outside of Hell Arena. With that said, let's dive in to the pre-recorded footage on my main account, where I, unfortunately, spent 7 gene hybrids to get her up for testing. All right, let's go look at that footage. Okay, Helen, let's dive in. First of all, that is some awesome little artwork. I love how I can see the tattoo on her shoulder. All right, we'll let the cutscene do its thing. Which, really impressed. Again, the cutscene's gorgeous. You know, you notice how her swords have disappeared? Like, that promotional artwork, obviously they didn't go that way. Okay, let's dive into her kit first. Let's expand that. All right, this is her ultimate ability. So Helentis teleports behind the target and performs a dance of death. That's ominous. Shooting 4 needles at her targets. Each needle deals damage equal to 100% of her attack. And she'll prioritize different targets. So she is, her ultimate sounds like it is an AoE. So she's going to shoot 4 times, prioritizing 4 different targets. Okay, cool. All right, I like that. That's kind of like a Bailey in a way. Bailey's ultimate was also an AoE. The talent modifier is during the activation of this skill, or the ultimate, the needle, when hitting the target, increases the damage from subsequent needles by 20%, stacking up to 4 times. So each needle is going to stack. So basically it's going to be, it's going to increase by 20%, and then another 20, another 20, another 20. So it's going to be stacking up to, I think, 80%. That 4th needle is going to be hitting the hardest. And an exclusive effect, energy skill enhancement, so an ultimate enhancement in Hell Arena, and Hell Arena only. The number of needles is increased to 8. And the needles also deal true damage. So already we're seeing the stark difference between Hell Arena and outside of Hell Arena. Her ultimate outside of Hell Arena, it's just 4 needles, each ramping up 20% up to 4 times. But then in Hell Arena, she's going to be doing 8. So she's going to ramp up that 4 times to 80%. And then she's just going to maintain that high level of damage and dealing true damage the entire time she's doing her ultimate. So her ultimate is probably twice as good, if not better, if not more than twice as good in Hell Arena versus outside of Hell Arena. Her first common skill. Helentis teleports behind the target with the lowest HP and lacerates the enemy 3 times, each attack dealing damage equal to 100% of her attack. So she's going to, again, that's not an AoE, that's 3 separate hits, kind of like how Rickert on his ultimate, it's a bunch of different hits depending on sword souls. But it does target the lowest HP, which is kind of a nice mechanic. The talent modifier reads on each laceration crit, so you have to crit on this ability. The next number of energy skill needles, so her ultimate needles, is increased by 1 up to 3. So in Hell Arena, it's not 8, it's 11, and outside of Hell Arena, her ultimate will do up to 7, but she has to crit on each of her hits of laceration. Second common skill, this is a passive. So when Helentis takes lethal damage, she avoids the attack and restores HP equal to 600% of her attack. Only activates once per battle, and obviously that goes up to 800% of attack with the levels. Talent modifier reads, when activated, Death Chaser, this ability, her passive, instantly refreshes laceration. So she'll port she won't die, she'll heal, and she'll immediately port to the lowest HP enemy. The exclusive effect, Death Chaser enhancement, again in Hell Arena mode only. The number of activations of Death Chaser is increased to 2, so she has a 2 times cheat death. So she's going to port, restore or reduce the cooldown of lacerate, immediately lacerate, but also when activated restores 200 energy. Now remember, 200 energy is 1/3 of an ultimate, so she's going to immediately get closer to doing her ultimate, but only in Hell Arena. Her second passive, so each time she uses a teleportation skill, which she does a lot, she takes 25% less damage and returns to the allied back row after 3 seconds. So actually, it's kind of like 2 teleports. So her laceration is going to make her teleport. When she is about to die, she's going to trigger laceration. She's going to teleport. And then when she does that, she's going to take 25 less damage. And she is then going to teleport to the back row after 3 seconds. So in Hell Arena, again, now we have Hell Arena modifiers in the skill itself. Receive 15% increased round settlement rewards after winning 3 offensive challenges with Helentis deployed. So this is the main, this is the reason why we want her, is because for the increased rewards from your weekly payout in Hell Arena. And then the modifier levels go up to 35% damage reduction after teleportation. So basically that's like damage reduction. It is damage reduction. So she has a little bit of damage reduction built into her kit. Talent modifier in Hell Arena, this is just the talent modifier. When your assassin hero kills an opponent, give all of your heroes a shield equal to 50% of their max health for 8 seconds. That is huge. That is a talent modifier, and that is only a Hell Arena mode. Her exclusive, Twilight Mirror enhancement, which is this passive ability enhancement. When an enemy hero in PvP, a boss, or an elite monster dies on the battlefield, Helentis instantly teleports to the place of their death, ignoring CC, and uses her energy skills uses her ultimate skill for free. So this can be used outside of Hell Arena, but obviously a boss is not going to die, so that's kind of redundant. I'm not sure what an elite monster is. That's probably someone in Twilight Lands. So maybe she might have some Twilight Lands synergy. Tell me if you know exactly what elite monster means. But she will immediately use her ultimate for free and ignore CC, which I guess is nice. And then her other exclusive, this is her exclusive 30, Twilight Mirror Enhancement, which is this passive in Hell Arena mode. All of Helentis's attacks execute enemies with less than 10% health. Ignores invincibility and immune to death effects. Basically, that is the Nord, you're dead. Leo, you're dead. You don't get to come back. And I do believe this might affect Miranda's injection too. If she can hit them when they're at 10% health, they're dead forever, which is an awesome exclusive 30. But is it necessary just for Hell Arena? That's yet to be seen. That is yet to be seen, because in Hell Arena now, I'm just mowing through opponents. So if you have a good assassin team, maybe consider it, but just maybe consider her X30. I really wouldn't recommend her X30. Her exclusive in general is an attack-based exclusive, which it should be for an assassin. We've read all of these. I'd say definitely take her up to X20, but I would not recommend her X30, given that it is only in one game mode. Okay? All right. Talents, like any other Triple S, do them all. Just do them all. Let's go look at her equipment now. She's an assassin, so it should be a no-brainer. She has to crit on her lacerate, so you want her, and since she's teleporting, you want her in Marauder gear. Marauder plus Sun Signet, just like the other assassins, other than Rickard, who runs Overload, right? But crit rate on the hands, look for crit damage secondaries and attack secondaries. Attack primary head, look for crit rate, crit damage, and attack, or I guess not attack, crit rate, crit damage secondaries. Attack boots, look for crit rate, crit damage secondaries. And then up top, look for crit rate, crit damage secondaries, and attack, I guess. Attack, crit damage, and crit rate. As you see, this is like my worst geared assassin, but, you know, I got some okay rolls. I got her up to 78%. She does get 9% from her talents. So I do have her at 87% crit, which is okay. And then really now my task, if I want to try to gear her higher, is to get her attack value up and her crit damage value up. All right. Is there anything that I missed that the game recommends? Oh, they're not they're not recommending Marauder at all up top. Well, they are. Never mind. Core stats. Crit rate and crit damage, which I kind of just said as well. And then, yeah, Marauder, Fade Out, Sun Signet is what they're recommending. So exactly what I said. Commanders, obviously the displacement commanders. And then for prototypes, obviously the Impulse, Phantom Cloak, Fifth Element, and Overload Sash. Basically, all of the good ones that work with assassins. So recommended heroes, no brainer. The SP, and then the other assassins. And that is it. Where do they recommend her? Okay, Terradome, no, she sucks. Roulette of Truth, no, she sucks. Hell Arena, she's good. And the reason, well, we'll get into the reasons why after this deep dive. So let's move on, and we'll watch some footage and then get to final thoughts. Actually turn on my mic. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's pull up some footage. I want to discuss PVE first. So let's pull up this video over here. Pause. I don't think this one has sound. Okay. So as I already kind of alluded to, in PVE, she sucks because a lot of assassin content... Oh, there's the border. A lot of assassin content requires the assassins to be close in melee range of the boss. Specifically, Idar in the Reign of Idar, in the Katosian Triangle, in Terradome, in
endless battles. So this video will show you exactly why. I don't think this one has sound. I will move my head so you see the damage meter. So I did chuck her in just all of the assassins, all of the SSS assassins, and the SP. So you see Helentis, she moves in, she does her ultimate, where she's firing off her needles, and then she ports back out, and then uses her ranged attacks. These ranged attacks aren't doing anything, since she has to be in the circle. And note that a Bailey, who is, Immortal 3, but is also X30, keep that in mind. Helentis in this video is only Immortal 0, X20. She does no damage. She does no damage. The only time she's really doing damage is when she's porting into the circle to do her ultimate. See there, she ports behind the hero and lacerates. Yes, she's going to do damage there. But then as soon as she lacerates, she ports out. So this is why she's going to suck in PVE content. Now, for story mode and stuff, assassins were never really the go-to for story mode, given how squishy they are. Assassins are really Guild Hunt, Whale Boss, and PvP. That's what they were built to do. That's what your assassins were built to do. So one more time, look at the damage meter. She's doing under half of Bailey's damage. Bailey's damage. Okay, so that highlights very, very succinctly why she's going to suck in most assassin-based PvE game modes. Now let's pull up some non-Hell Arena PvP. Alright, and I do believe I do have sound for this. So, let's expand that. Let's move over there. And now, I think I gotta turn my sound off on there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is PvP, just normal PvP. I am gonna turn my head off again so that you guys can actually see the damage meter, because she's okay. She's okay in PvP. I'm not going to do a whole lot of fights. I'm just doing some fights. So this team is just 4 assassins and Miranda. Why? Because Miranda's the kind of go-to to buff up all of your assassins. Caraxia is X10. Rickert and Dominic are X30. And Helen is X20. All 3 assassins are in Marauder gear. What I really want you to focus on, see, there you go, X20. What I really want you to focus on is the damage meter, because remember that half of her kit is basically turned off for normal PvP, but she is a really good burst. Look at her damage. Like, she did really good burst off the hop, and she is keeping up with Dominic, which is, keep in mind, Dominic is hyper evolved 120 X30, and she just beat Dominic's numbers. Now, I probably should have recorded that in 1x speed so we can pay attention. I do believe this next one, which is it's a hodgepodge team. Okay, so it is in 1x speed. So it is a hodgepodge team, but more so I wanted to test just to see damage numbers and where assassins shine, say like against hunters, against energy. She does okay, but just okay. I pulled Bailey off of this team because she basically does what Bailey does, and I think that she will replace Bailey outside of Hell Arena in a normal PvP team. So she's in the back. You see her, she's taken off. She's doing her little AoE spin, her needle spin, and then she's going to port to the back. Look at her damage numbers. She is winning the damage meter right now. And you see how she oh, is she dead? No, she's not dead. I was hoping she would port away from Nord, but there she is in the back. Whack, whack, whack again. Now we got to kill a Wamagon. You see she comes to the back and doesn't even get an attack off before she ports back into the enemy lines to do more damage. So pause. There we go. Look at the damage meter at the end of this fight. Helen does good damage. And at X30, she's probably going to do even more damage in a Hunter PvP team. Would I run a 4 assassin team with no tanks? Maybe. Maybe. I have seen that team with a maxed out SP. With a maxed out SP, is it even worth it to take Helen to X30? No. Her X30, remember, is the kill, cheat, death heroes. So is it necessary? All you're going to be getting out of X30 in normal PvP is just the increased attack stats. But one more time before I put my head back up on the screen, look at the damage meter. She does have good burst damage in PvP outside of Hell Arena, which means you should probably... We'll save this for final thoughts. Let's just let this play out. Victory done. I think I showed the damage meter, which we already discussed it. Yeah, she won. She beat the damage meter on this one. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, so final thoughts. Final thoughts on Helen. Wait, turn my sound back on and expand that. Okay, my final thoughts on Helen. She's better than Bailey. I think this footage shows that she has 100% replaced Bailey. But that is yet to be seen in Guild Hunt Whale. I know most of my guild mates that are Whale testers will probably test her. So that is the one thing I can't say with definitive certainty right now. Because Bailey is nice because he does the AoEs. And I think just my gut says she's going to be good in that. But the fact that half of her kit only works in one game mode, and it rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way. I like her, but I don't. So I guess that kind of sums up my final thoughts. She's okay, not great. In some areas, she sucks. So, actually, she's great in some areas, in one area. She's okay in other areas, and she sucks in other areas. So, take this footage, do with it what you will, make your own decisions, but you could probably skip Bailey altogether now. I know new accounts, anybody that's mid-game or new player, beginning game, Bailey is still so hard to get. You got to save up like 700 advanced tickets or tickets to pull on a heroes rally. Wait, is it 7 or 900? 700 tickets. So that's basically the easiest way to level him, free to play. Whereas Helen, you can just buy copies of her out of the Hell Arena store, which I would probably recommend. That would be the ideal acquisition method for you to get her. Don't be like me. Don't spend gene hybrids on her. I want those back, but they're gone forever. So I spent them so that I could make this video and show you guys. You can get, I think, 4 copies of her per Hell Arena season. The Loose Lips Sinker of Ships has said in a screenshot, I have that screenshot, that says the Hell Arena shop refreshes once in the middle of the season. The season is 8 weeks long in Hell Arena, and the shop refreshes in the middle. So you could possibly get 4 copies of Helentis in the Hell Arena shop. In fact, let's go look at it since we're in game. Oh, I was looking for the wrong buttons there. I would just recommend just get her from the... That's not the shop. Get her from the Hell Arena shop. Only don't spend gene hybrids on her. All right, where is it? Hell Arena. Okay, so you see, this says it resets it in 19 days. So it resets a month into Hell Arena, but the Hell Arena itself, the season, lasts 2 months. So there she is right there. So you can get 4 of her in 2 months. So basically you can get 2 of her per month. So it'll take you 4 months to get her immortal. And that is probably how I would do it, right? That's how I would do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it right there. I've said, I think, all I can say on Helentis. The word of the day is the word of the day, or the safe word of the day, if you've made it this far into the video, is Helen hyphen tits. Helentis. Or you could go Helen and then all caps tits. because I just think that's funny because I'm a child. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive on Helen tits. I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, cheers, peace, bye-bye.